Previously on Ballz.
Hey, Polly, how's it going?
All right, and you, Darren?
All right, thank you.
Good.
I'm trying to hear where you're driving. It sounds very peaceful and quiet. Sounds like the Hillcrest area.
It is the Hillcrest area. I've just picked up my daughter from her horse riding.
Oh, nice. How old is she now?
6 years, eh?
6 years old.
Yeah, and she knows how to handle a horse better than Dad ever did.
Yeah, as long as she knows how to... my little boy's only 2, eh? But the age difference is not that big.
Okay. Well, we can talk.
Yeah, how are you going? All right, otherwise.
Thanks. Good.
Yeah, it's good, man. Nice to get some home time for you as well. What's the weather like there, by the way? Hot?
No, it's been actually a bit miserable here in Hillcrest. We've had lots of rain, and it's been overcast for long periods, and then when the sun comes out, it's very, very hot. But, yeah,
Okay.
not ideal. Not good golf weather.
No, so you're not at Cotswold today.
No.
All right. Are you still in that same house where you got that putting green out on the front lawn there?
Indeed, when you came running down the hill, the dandelion.
Yeah, pretending to be Little House on the Prairie.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, you've been there a while. He's got this, like, Polly built his own putting green in front of his home. Very nice. So he practices his golf then. How's that going? How's the golf going?
You know, playing nicely, having my moments.
That's golf, I suppose.
Speaking of golf, Polly, are you going to the Gary Player this year?
I've actually just been called yesterday as a late replacement to go in. So someone pulled out, so I am going to be playing, yeah.
Oh, cool.
How does Polly get called as a late replacement? It should be on the first list, boss.
Exactly.
No. They look to spread it around each year, so they have different guys. But
Okay.
being a person who's got a house here and in Durban, local boy, I needed to answer the call.
Apparently
Okay.
Victor was also called up.
Yeah, Victor's going to be playing as well, I think.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Now, obviously, do you actually get up in these wee small hours of the morning and watch every ball of the Test matches?
I can't lie to you, I don't.
All right.
I pick up the highlights later, and then I normally get to watch about 45 minutes to an hour when I go to gym after dropping the girls at school.
All right, is that it? That's the entire day's play that you get to see, that last session?
That's live. That's
All
live,
right.
and then I watch the highlights later, yeah.
All right. We just spoke to Bouch a little earlier on. He was saying boys will come bouncing back after a few disappointing days in that first test. Are you inclined to agree?
Yeah, I think, when I saw that the first test and the way the pitch was playing, it looked flat, but you can never really judge it until both teams have had a crack on it. And it was really just a good surface. And, you sort of get the feeling as a player when you're out there that the game is heading for a draw and the intensity or whatever can drop a touch. So I wasn't surprised that they lost a few wickets in that second innings. That's part and parcel, but they did what they had to do to survive. Team composition, yeah, I wasn't convinced with leaving Tahir out, but obviously there was issues with Callis and his fitness, so I think he'll be fine this time round, so they can play that spinning option. Even if he's bowling into the rough to right-handers, he'll be an attacking option to left-handers. So, yeah, I think we'll be better prepared for this game, and let's just hope that it's a result pitch.
Yeah. Which Adelaide tends probably not to be, right?
No, it does. Funny enough, it can honestly be a really good batting surface first few days, and if it stays hot, then it gets quite dry and up a bit, and then return, and there's a bit of inconsistent bounce. So, yeah, there has been some matches where they get really big scores and draws, but there also have been some results.
Yeah, all right. Just going back to the spinning thing, I mean, just from what you're saying, JP obviously did put a spanner in the works as well, because they lost not only a batting option, but they must have had some kind of thought about him being the sort of lead option as a spin bowler in that first test, which obviously that never happened. I mean, do you think the team consider him now to be a realistic member of their bowling attack, in other words, an all-rounder, or is he still there just as a batsman?
No, I think JP would still just be there as the batsman to bowl a few overs, be a bit of a partnership breaker. But I think his bowling is developing. But I mean, I think, from a South African perspective, if we want to be number one in the world and dominate around the world, we're going to have to develop our spin option. I think Tahir is the right man at this time. But from his own point of view and from the team's point of view, at some stage he needs to win the game for South Africa. And then on other times he needs to contribute by knocking over maybe one or two of the top six. He's very good at knocking over the tail because he's got a bit of mystery to him. But at some stage he has to get like a big 6-wicket haul or whatever, or start knocking over the guys in the top 6 regularly.
Right, well, I'm sure it's going to come at some stage. I love having him in the side as well. The other inclusion, of course, Faf, who makes his debut in the Test side. Are you happy about that selection?
Yeah, I mean, he's done well as of late, and obviously they've seen his potential and they've stuck with him in basically all formats. So I'm not surprised he gets a gig, and he can also buy a little bit of leg spin, which probably isn't the worst thing in the world. So yeah, it's interesting to see how he goes. I'm sure he'll do right.
All right, cool. So prediction from Shaun, all squared, 2 tests to go. How do you see the series going?
I don't know about the series. I'll have to look and see what they do in the last test, but I think this test will win. I think we'll play the better cricket on the surface. Yes, the balance of their side is much stronger now that Watson will probably be back from injury.
I think I read today that he isn't.
He isn't.
He's out.
Oh, isn't he? Oh, okay, well then that's good news. No, then we definitely win.
Okay, there we go. That sorts that out.
And Shaun, very interesting. You don't often see a situation like this where they announce the team a day or two earlier. It's normally in the morning. Isn't that right?
Were you talking about Australia or South Africa?
No, both. They could normally keep it a secret, the starting 11.
Australia probably knew Watson wasn't going to be ready, so they...
Yeah, he failed the test.
Yeah.
Is it unusual to do
that? It is quite unusual because they like to sort of keep the options up their sleeves, but at the end of the day, you can announce a team and then you can always change it 10 minutes before the toss.
Yeah.
So it's not too much of a problem. But I think both teams are very settled in what they want to do, so it's not surprising that they've gone ahead and announced it.
Yeah, would you, just as someone commented last time after the last test, would you like to see that change where they can actually change a side before a first ball is bowled? In other words, if something like JP happens, I mean, no one's doing it deliberately as a tactic or anything. No one wants to see that happen. But would you like to see that decision change to be able to select your side up until the first ball is bowled? Or do you think that affects how someone will call the toss that much?
Yeah, I think before the game starts, if say you do the toss half an hour before and they're waiting to start the game, an injury happens. I mean, often in county cricket and in some of the internationals, we've allowed them to change the team because someone's been... But the problem you have is if it's like JP has gone into the second day, basically, I mean, we could have made the option of changing him for Imran Tahir, which would have put the balance maybe in our favour because we've had a look at a whole day's play of the surface and we know exactly what it's going to do, so your decision becomes a little bit better calculated. So I think if it happens just before, there's no problem, and most teams, I think, would actually allow someone to change. But after the first day, I can understand how they wouldn't.
Okay. I just want to ask Polly about AB. Do you think, perhaps, obviously depending what happens in this test, that we look at bringing in a Tommy Tulekile for the third one? I can't remember the last time the chap made a test 100.
Yeah, I think AB will be very frustrated at the moment. You know, he's got some starts. It's not like he hasn't got any runs, but he's probably... I think in England he got about 4 40s, and he got another 40 in the first innings. So, you know, he hasn't kicked on. Whether it's to do with the keeping, I'm not so sure. You know, only time will tell, and he probably can only tell you how his body's feeling.
Yeah.
But I don't think he's far away. He looks like he's playing really well. He's just maybe keep the concentration level up when he finds himself in and not drift and throw it away.
Well, he told us a couple of weeks ago, actually, when we spoke about that very thing. He said he's going to have to look at the option of giving up something, and the IPL is probably going to have to be it. So clearly there must be some wear and tear on the body because he's playing every form of the game, plus IPL as well from at that level. So, you know, he is thinking in terms of that.
Yeah, I mean, his back's been a problem for a while. So, you know, it's obviously going to flare up from time to time. But it's nice to see him prioritising his country, and hopefully he does that going forward.
Fantastic, Polly. I hear the garage opening, which means time to let you go. And not going to chat to you again, boss. All the best, and good
luck for the golf.
Enjoy the test series, and good luck for the golf.
Thanks, Darren. Cheers, eh?
Cheers, buddy.
Bye.
Bye. There we go. Shaun Pollock joining us from just outside his garage, as it turned out.
This is Ballz Visual Radio. Darren, Simon, Kate, and John. Weekdays from 3 p.m. to 6 p.m. Central African Time. Ballz.co.za